So who is the peculiar purple penguin? That's what we're here to talk about today. My name is Arel Moodie. I'm one of the co-authors of the book, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Yolanda Febles, who is one of the co-authors as well.
So, Arel, what is the peculiar purple penguin? What is this book about?
So the book is about how do we help parents, adults who work with children, grandparents, uncles, anyone who works with kids about age 2 to 6 years old, help them get out of a tantrum or a meltdown so that they can have a better relationship with them and make sure the kids can better deal with those meltdowns and tantrums when they actually happen. Why don't we talk about why we came up with this book, how it came about, and all that kind of fun stuff, kind of the backstory of the Purple Penguin book.
Sure. So basically, we had a child, and children have tantrums, as we learned, a lot of tantrums. And so over the course of our parenting journey, we've read a lot of books about parenting and different approaches. And one of them was a book about playful parenting, which really resonated with us. And the book really talks about how play allows you to connect with your kid and allows you also to deal with behavioral problems, because kids naturally play. That's what they want to do all the time. That's how they function. That's how they communicate. And you can use play with your kid to help them.
What's an example of that?
So an example of that is, so we have 2 children. Our little one, one day he refused to walk down the stairs. So I didn't want to carry him down the stairs because he's gotten really big. He's 4 now. So I came up with the idea of magic walking powder. And magic walking powder is this invisible powder that I take out and I pour it all over his legs, and all of a sudden he can walk. And so I did that to him. I was like, ooh, I got magic walking powder. And I started pouring on him. I'm like, you could walk now. And unbelievably, it worked. I was so surprised. So he started walking down the stairs. And so that was a playful way of using the playful parenting approach to help our child go down the stairs by himself rather than me screaming at him. So Arel, you came up with the idea of the penguin. So tell me about how you came up with that, how we used it with our child.
Yeah, so basically it was really just a fluke, because I like the idea of the playful parenting. I thought it was really, really cool. I like the concept. I naturally like to, play with the kids. One day, my kid was just freaking out and just like, he was having a tantrum, and he was safe. He was fine. Like, I had made sure there was no big issue and he was just carrying on. So I had this thought that said, let's look for a penguin. And I thought an alliteration would be cool. So I went purple penguin, and there was literally just jumped into my mind. So I said, son, did you see him? Did you see the purple penguin? And he's like, what? And at first it was an activity where I was like, yo, I think he went upstairs. So we'd run upstairs and we said, do we see him? And I was like, I think he's downstairs. And we ran downstairs. And I was like, I think he went in the backyard. And we ran and looked in the backyard. And then my kid was able to like calm down. And then we were able to have a conversation about what happened and give him the skills he needs to better deal with stressful times in the future. But what's funny about it is the more and more we started doing that, the more and more we started saying, Dad, I think the purple penguin went to the park. Let's go to the park and look for him. I was like, I'm about to go to sleep. I don't want to go to the park. So I thought it would be cool if the purple penguin was purple because he left clues. So he would touch things and turn them purple. So then when my child was upset, I was like, hey, do you see anything purple in the room? And he said, yeah, there is something purple. And then I noticed that he would be able to calm himself down looking for those clues. So it became this thing of looking for the color purple. And it turned out really, really well because it became fun. He started looking for it, and it became a thing I started doing with other kids in our community. When we had our second child, he taught it to his younger brother, which I thought was just so cool. And we started thinking, man, maybe this is something we should take and share with other people. And the idea of the purple penguin actually tied into something you had learned about how to calm down. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yes. So as adults, we have tantrums too. We get upset. So there was this technique that I learned that very much mirrored the idea of the purple penguin. And basically it's a redirection strategy of your mind. And first we need to learn a little bit about the brain. So your brain has the emotional side and the logical side. When you are having a tantrum and you're just losing it, your emotional brain is going full speed and your logical brain is basically disabled, which is what's happening with your child when they're having a tantrum. And as an adult, we experience the same thing. So there's this technique of where you can use idea of discovering kumquat orange in your room. So if you look around your room and you see the walls and start imagining them as kumquat orange, start looking at your tables, your chairs, basically you're picturing everything as kumquat orange. And the reason why you're doing this is to help your brain move from the logic or the emotional part to the logical part. So then once that happens, you're calmer and you're a more rational human. And that's the same concept that the purple penguin strategy uses with your child. So it's actually an effective strategy for our kid or your kid and for yourself as a parent, because everyone knows when you're a calmer parent, you're a better parent and make better choices and you're kinder.
And that's the big thing, is that this book is not just a story, and I want to be very clear about that. It's an introduction of an idea. It's a way to teach a strategy to children so that the children now know about the purple penguin. The adults, you watching this, know who the purple penguin is, and you can start looking for him together. So a lot of stories are just books. You read the book and you close the book and the story's over. But this book is set up so that you read the story and then you take it with you in the real world. So now when your child is dealing with something, and of course you want to make sure they're not actually hurt, they're not like, let them feel their emotions, but then you can move them into calming down using this strategy. Now, what's interesting is when we talk about calming down, there's tantrums and there's meltdowns, right? So tell us about the difference between what a tantrum is and what a meltdown is, because sometimes people use them interchangeably, but they're different.
Right. And I think it's important to know the distinction, and we've learned this during our parenting journey. So the difference between tantrums and meltdowns is the intention behind it. So a tantrum is basically purposeful. So your child wants something. They want a cookie, they want a toy in the store, and they want it right now. So they throw a tantrum because they're hoping that strategy will force you to get it for them, whatever it is that they want. So it's manipulative in nature. And the meltdown is really an involuntary reaction of your child. So it's something in our book, we have this scenario where the kid is eating an ice cream cone and his cone or his ice cream falls off his cone and he freaks out because he wants to eat the ice cream and it's on the floor, dirty. So he has a meltdown and he can't help it. And so they're both very different in nature, but they always result in the same sort of breakdown. So the purple penguin helps in both scenarios.
So the idea is that we want to use this strategy in the right way. And I know one of the fears that we had about this was, well, what if people use it in the wrong way? Like, what if a kid falls down, busts his knee open, he's bleeding, and then the parent goes, look, can you find something purple? And it's like, no, that's not the right way to use it. So could you talk about some of the ways that are the best ways for do's and don'ts of using the peculiar purple penguin strategy?
Sure. So as you just mentioned, using the strategy when your child is bleeding is not really effective. So timing is important. You have to know when is the appropriate time to use it. So we actually spoke with a psychologist and she helped break down the phases of meltdowns and tantrums. And it's best used when your child is coming out of the tantrum or meltdown, not when they first start getting into the tantrum. It's when they're starting to come out of it, and it helps them calm down even more quickly than they normally would on their own. So you have to know when is the best time to use it. You also have to know your tone is very important, because if your child is having their tantrum and they're coming out of it and you're like, look, there's the purple penguin, or you're just really mean or condescending, it's not going to work. The whole idea, it's a playful strategy. So you want to be playful in your tone and you want to be fun and kind, and otherwise your child is going to feel like you're just being mean to them, and it's not effective, obviously, if you use it that way.
Yeah, and a big part about it is you want to make sure that when you're using the strategy, you're looking to make sure that your child is okay. You're taking care of their needs. You're letting them feel their emotions. It's very important. Emotions are not good or bad. They just want to be felt. And then once you realize it's time to move on and it's too long, that's a good moment to say, okay, let's go ahead and use the purple penguin, saying, hey, look, there's something purple. And then they actually get really excited about it. And if you use the strategy outlined in the book, how we outlined it, by following that story, you'll be able to use this with your child. And they like looking for it. It becomes something that's fun. And even sometimes when they're not upset, they say, look, there's something purple. And you know what? It's actually funny. Why don't we talk about why we used purple in the first place? Why purple?
Yes, why purple? So purple, well, you came up with the color of purple, which I thought was a really good idea because in most rooms or any scenario you're in, you tend to find something that's purple, but it's not too common. So for instance, white or black, you probably would find a lot of that in a room, but you chose a color that is still common, but not too common. So you'd be able to locate it and the child actually has to find it instead of it being right there in front of them.
Right, so purple is typically in most rooms, but it's not so like readily available. It's easy to find, so you have to look for it. And we just know it's a great way of redirecting them out of it so that you can then sit them down later, have a good conversation and teach them real strategies so they can deal with the meltdown a little bit better.
Right.
So we had a fun idea that we should like record actually using the peculiar purple penguin strategy in real life. But then I was like, it's pretty insensitive to record an actual child crying and being upset and not helping them. So instead we decided we should hire some children as actors. So why don't we go find out what it looks like to use the peculiar purple penguin strategy.
Remember, this is not real.
This is not real.
This is a dramatization.
And you'll be able to tell it is clearly a dramatization. So let's check that out right now. Did you see him? I think the purple penguin's been here. Do you see anything purple? Yeah, that book is purple, right there. That's purple. Do you see anything else that's purple? Oh, the marker's purple. Oh, that's purple.
And this.
Great job, guys. You're finding all the things that are purple. Asher, you found something purple too. Great work. So go ahead and pre-order your copy right now on purplepenguinbook.com. That's our website where you can get access to the book. And by ordering the book, you also will get some really, really cool bonuses that you can check out on the website for pre-ordering the book. And you can join the official Peculiar Penguin Pursuit Party. So thank you so much for watching this video. Pre-order the book now for a person who you love, or maybe for yourself, who works with small children, loves small children, or just wants to, get some good book and some good skills, if you know what I'm saying. So go ahead and order the book, and I'm so excited to hear what you think of the Peculiar Purple Penguin book.